Hello survivors, welcome back to another Tower of Babel Survivor of Chaos video. Today we have a legendary trigger ring called Hammer Trigger. It makes it so that Magic Hammer has a chance to reduce its cooldown by half when cast, 30% chance, so we're going to try and use that skill and see if we're able to beat the boss by using that with multiple skills. And actually on that note, with regards to skills in the game, usually there isn't so I mentioned in the last video, and what happens is these skills all have infinite range. So your basic attack can go up to level 20, the XP pickup range can go up to 10, and things like that all have limits to them. Another thing about them is so XP range, XP gain, attack speed, all those things, crit damage, are all passive skills. So like curse, cast speed, those you can have an infinite number of them. The things like dagger, as well as the things like the magic hammer, and the skills themselves, you can only have 5 of them at the moment, unless there's something in gear that makes it that you can have more of them and it doesn't actually specify it properly. So that's the way that works. You can have 5 skills available at any time, and you can also have as many of the passives as you want, as well as their levels being level 10 for skills and level 20 for passives. Now over here, out of all of these, dagger's probably the strongest, but I think we can play with the meteor strike because we did get a level 2 to it right now. Also the fact that it doesn't land on the enemy is quite unfortunate. Over there we land up destroying them before it landed up on their head, which is okay. It does leave fire on the ground, so you'll see there it still does damage to enemies that walk through it, so it is pretty good. I'm going to grab special attack. It enhances your special attacks. Unfortunately, nothing in this game really mentions what special attack is, but we did see meteor do 41 damage, like 39 to 43 damage over there, 49. So what I want to do is I do want to check if we increase our special, does it increase the damage of all of our attacks besides for our basic attack. So projectile count, always good to grab, especially skills that have lots of projectiles like magic hammer, which is one that we're looking for, because it starts off with more projectiles. Having that extra projectile count does obviously make it a lot easier to increase the projectiles. So when something has one projectile, it's obviously a lot less likely to get multiple projectiles, but when something has multiple projectiles already, that 25% increased chance to provide more projectiles is actually much better. So things like the magic hammer, the heaven strike, whatever it's called, the blades or the daggers, the spinning blades, all of those, because they have multiple projectiles already, benefit from the projectile count a lot more. So here we get 25% again, so now we're on 50%, so there's going to be a 50% chance we get 2 meteors, which just happened, and that's now going to be every single time. So some games when you got like a multicast or a chance to have multiple projectiles, it's usually done off it. Like what they do is, if you don't get it the one time, the multicast can occur the next time, but in this case it is actually pretty different. So here, like I mentioned, like spinning blades definitely works really well with that, so we'll grab it. They also work really well with area of effect, which is quite cool, but still no magic hammer, which is what we're looking for. Come on, game. Okay, XP pickup range is actually really useful in this game. If you ever see it and there isn't like a +2 or +3 to any other skills, I definitely recommend taking it, because obviously the more XP you get, the stronger you're going to get. So you want to try and pick it up as much as possible. And for us, that's over there, which was a good thing. So here's our magic hammer. Thank goodness we actually picked one up. Usually you only throw like 3 or 4 of them. As you can see, we're throwing 6 of them already, and we've got a chance every time we cast it that it's going to cast faster the next time. So we're going to pick up the cast speed if possible, and we're going to try and get this to the highest level possible as well. We're so far running on 3 skills, so we should be able to get 2 more and go from there. Corpse explosion's definitely one of them, grabbing that as quickly as possible. I love this ability. What it does is just helps thin out groups of enemies. So you'll see we try a lot of the time, we often getting surrounded by enemies, and corpse explosion just makes it so that the enemies explode and any enemies near them are going to be taking that additional damage. So why not go with that when you're playing it? Also, if you haven't noticed, every so often above my character's head you're going to see 3 red crosses. Those are life regen, or I've got, like, when I crit I regenerate life, or I get a chance to life on hit from gear. So that's what it is. Every so often you'll see that above our head. Oh, ooh, okay, no, we have to take this cast speed. We get plus 20% to cast speed. That is beautiful, and just look at that. It looked like we double cast the 30% chance to get the yep, it's working. Those legendaries are really, really cool. Alright, Dragon's Breath was apparently really good, but I actually don't want Lightning Wave or Dragon's Breath right now, so we're going to grab Spinning Blade. The only reason for it is I want skills that work really well with multiple projectiles, because we're getting the increased projectile. At least that's how I feel like it works. I do know that Lightning Wave does get additional projectiles, so does Dragon's Breath, but I feel like Dragon's Breath, I need to get the upgrade to it, the legendary, and go from there. I'm really hoping to find some really cool legendaries that I can show you guys how they change the look of the skill or the functionality of them. There are other ones for the magic hammer as well, but we just haven't found any, so we're definitely going to bring those to you in videos. There's still so much in the game to go for, in the demo at least, to grind for. But the only part, and speaking about grinding, is that you don't get to keep any of your gear. So if I pick up a really nice piece of nice ring, and I'm like, okay, let me replace the magic hammer ring that we've got that I showed you at the beginning of the game, that ring will be destroyed once you've unequipped it and go into a game. So you aren't able to keep anything in your inventory in the demo right now, which is really, really sad. Because in these types of games, you want to hoard equipment. You don't want to have to be forced to sell absolutely everything, and because of that, it's just really unfortunate. So I mean, once you've beaten the boss once, you're like, okay, well, what's the point of carrying on playing? You might as well wait for an update to bring something new or greater to the game. Alright, we're gonna do special attack. I just have a feeling, I actually can't see how much damage the magic hammer is doing. Maybe it can hit something this way, if I can go there. Okay, so it's doing like 18, between 18 and 30 damage. It's so weird, like the damage is so different all the time. So there's a 24, 29, 26, 23, it changes all the time. So I actually can't. But we hit 30 as a maximum, so if I get like your magic power increased as a thing and we go over 30 damage, then we know, okay, it does actually affect those skills. But let's go and see. Oh, well, we'll end up getting a increase to the level, so that's 10%, so that means it should be 33 as a max number that we see. We just got to pay attention to it. Unless that, maybe that enemy had corrosion on them and I just didn't know. Okay, that was 29 damage there. Maybe they were corroded. I don't know, I can't really see the damage number really well when I'm trying to focus on it. And then if I do focus purely on that, I know I'm going to land up walking into an enemy. So we'll have to focus on it a bit later, or I'll just ask the developer, you know, what does special attack actually affect? I know other people have asked it and I haven't seen it being answered just yet. I think they've asked it as a suggestion, but we're not going to ask it as a suggestion. I'm just going to ask them straight out, what does special attack affect, what does basic attack affect, and then we can let you guys know in the comment section. So just keep your eyes out for the pinned section, or for the pinned comment. I'll let you know, does it actually affect the skills, or do they only affect the damage of your right click, if that is even a special attack and not a special basic attack or something like that. So it could be quite interesting. Is a special attack only something that uses mana? Because that's the only skill in the entirety of the game that uses mana. So it's quite weird that you have mana and mana regen. Heaven's Judgment, again, very, very strong skill. Shatters into multiple light shards. This is also really good with projectile count. So you actually get multiple of them dropping, and then it shoots out. So there we go, we dropped 2 of them. So very, very cool skill. It does a lot of damage as well, at least I found out it does. I need to check if there's a skill combination, so if there's a piece of gear we can pick up that's going to make it so it changes how the functionality of the skill works. Because there is a video on the game's Discord that shows all the different skill upgrades that you can get with gear. So all the legendaries, all the uniques, how they effectively change the way that the skills work. So pretty cool. Like, I know people are asking for spiraled hammers, magic hammers, and I think there is a unique that does that. Alright, more piercing chance. It can't be that. I mean, that does pierce already, so I don't know. This is the reason why we get XP gain as well as the XP range, because as you can see, there are so many things that need to, you know, XP is all over the place, so we need to go and pick all of it up. Alright, Spinning Blade gets a +2 to it. That's really cool, because now they're going to just be dealing more damage. I do like how it thins out the herd, if you want to call it that, because that does make it a lot easier and safer for us to walk around. But we're definitely going to be looking for more levels, because, ooh, yes, that's beautiful. That's exactly what we're looking for. So +10 piercing, more cast speed, and more damage. That is fantastic. We survived the 10-minute horde. There will be another one at about 18 minutes where it's really hectic. I think 19 minutes just before you fight the boss. Critical hit chance up by 14%. The thing with critical hit chance right now in the game, I don't feel like it actually does anything for us. I will take it so I can show you at the end of the round what I mean by that. But because your character really has no crit in the beginning of the game, which I think changes. If you go look at the game's trailer, you can see how much damage they do in the video. So I think it does change in, you know, the full release. But right now, crit feels very underwhelming, or very difficult to get a lot of crit chance in there. So also a lot of the time you'll notice that none of these, every now and then you see like a 77 damage from a crit. So that's like a really lucky crit. There was a crit as well. So I don't know, maybe it makes a big difference, maybe it doesn't. But I'll show you the character stat sheet at the very end of the round, and you'll be like, okay, well, that amount of crit means absolutely nothing. However, I have said this in Spell Brigade multiple times before that, well, firstly, I've said it multiple times in Spell Brigade that even if you get 5% crit, it's better than 0% crit. So, you know, you might as well get it. And I say that with dodge chance a lot in Spell Brigade. So I guess it's true for every game. As long as you have a little bit of it, it's better than nothing. So, you know, at least we'll grab the crit for that reason. But the one thing we don't know is what the crit of all the weapons or of all the skills is. So yes, my character's crit might be low, but a skill's crit like Magic Hammer, it could have a base crit that's much higher. So, because they also get increased critical strike chance when you land up leveling them up. So that could be a case as well, and that could make this much more valuable in that case. Over here, magic item chance, I want to increase that because I am looking for more legendaries. So if I can get like 5 levels into that would be great. I don't think we will, because it's quite a rare upgrade. And as I say that, watch, we'll probably get like a +3 level to it. It's a super rare upgrade. We're not going to get it. Trying to reverse psychology RNG right now. Hopefully reverse psychology on RNG can help us. Also something I want to know is, like, sometimes when I'm playing the game, we land up getting bosses that spawn, or mini bosses that spawn. I've had a round where a mini boss spawns at 3 minutes. I've had 3 of them spawn at like 4 minutes. And then there's a round like this where not a single one spawns. So I don't know what the criteria to get them to spawn is. But they definitely drop you more loot. So being able to find a way to get bosses to spawn for you is definitely going to be a way to get more gear. I think it's completely RNG though, and you'll play around and you won't have anything happen, or you'll play around and something will happen. See, so critical hit chance, it's separate from your character's critical hit chance. I don't know what it does, or how much crit the skill has, or if the puddle it leaves can crit, or the puddle it leaves can crit. We just found that out. But like, those are some of the things that we wish we could see while we're playing the game. So a lot of people are voicing their opinions on the Discord for the game, giving suggestions. I wouldn't say opinions, they're giving suggestions to try and make the game a little bit better for everyone, including themselves. Enhance your special attacks to have plus 50% projectile count. Now, this is actually going to help us. Do we see 3 of them spawning? We don't see more magic hammers. We don't see 3 of them. That gives me a good indicator that special attack is not that. But it also doesn't affect my axes as much. So I actually have no idea. I am going to grab the +1 to resurrection, just so if we are in a pickle and we accidentally lose our full HP bar, then we will be able to at least resurrect, come back and finish the run like we intended to. So good way to make sure that you survive is to make sure that you actually have a revive. I would do wonder if it's a stat on gear as well then, because if you're able to find it in the game, surely you can find it on stats as a gear piece. That would be really, really strong though, so I don't think you can. But if you could, that would be great. We could have a lock. So I did, oh, but wait, it got projectile count as an upgrade as well. Even though it got projectile count, we still only 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wait, we're shooting at 8 now. So it was 6 before, now we're sitting at 8. So it definitely made a difference. Now we just gotta hope for the +2 to projectiles. And we don't get it. We do get Heaven's Judgment, which gives +1 to shard count. So let's go and grab the Heaven's Judgment with the +1 to shard count. That should be very good for us. It's just more projectiles, more clearing of enemies. It does have piercing as well, so that should be very, very good. And now you can start to see why the XP range is very, very handy to have, and why we took it, because our movement speed is quite low. I do need to try and get gear that increases movement speed as well. We get +2 to the pickup range, much better than anything else over here in my opinion, and that's definitely going to help us. We should be able to get a decent amount of levels until the boss spawns. Even while the boss has spawned, I think we should be able to still get quite a good amount of XP. Or just before he spawns is when we're going to get all those levels. You'll see why. Okay, gear dropped over there, but it wasn't anything special. +3 to Earth Spark. I mean, we don't have any other skills that we can use, so we might as well grab it. It was a +3 to the skill, so that's pretty good. Double meteor landing on the enemy's head. So I think the intentions for the game were to give a lot of the weapons either basic attack typings or special attack typings, but not being able to know this definitely makes a big difference. We're still not shooting 3 axes, so I don't know what special attack is. If only we could tell. Also, the game does sometimes drop a magnet from an elite enemy. However, it doesn't pick up gold. Would be nice to have that added. Alright. Oh man, let's go. That's a projectile count there. We're definitely going to do that. Oh yes, now we get 3 of them. That's pretty good. I don't know how well it's going to work on the boss, but working on, you know, trash mobs is definitely working out very well for us. No good loot dropping though. Our shop is going to refresh after this round though, so we should hopefully see something decent in the shop, or at least I'm hoping for that. I don't think it will actually happen, but it might. Okay, next level, we're hoping for some magic missile, magic hammer. I should have maybe leveled up the magic hammer and not the meteor. But that level on the meteor was pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. And we get projectile count over here, that's beautiful. Just make sure we dodge all the purple orbs that we see flying around, because those are what's going to hurt us the most. But luckily they all land up taking damage regardless. So there is so much XP on the floor right now, we can't even pick all of it up. I'm gonna go for the cast speed. We don't necessarily need any more damage in the Heaven's Judgment right now. This isn't what the video is about. Today is about a meteor strike and a magic hammer, it would seem. That is a big one though. We don't need it anymore though. We are nearly at the boss. So we're going to go and increase the meteor. We do get 20% increased projectile count on that again. So that's going to work wonders for us. Here is an elite that this is the first one we've seen the entire game. That's just madness. Way too long to see one of those guys. There's the magnets like I mentioned. We get cast speed. We can go for special attack, which doesn't, again, I don't think that helps us. Basic attack, because we're not going to need that much magnet anymore since we are fighting the boss in 20 seconds. And our basic attack will do more for us than anything else. And here we go. So here's the boss. There's a level on there. Get out of that. And he does spawn enemies, which is fine. As long as we keep moving, we would be able to get out of there alive. I do just want to make sure that we keep picking up everything that did drop while we're fighting him. I mean, it's not really an issue as to whether or not he's going to live or not. We're definitely going to land up dealing with him. I mean, we are able to melee him as well. Oops, that did a lot of damage. Luckily, we do have a revive still, so we should be able to do this. I mean, we dealt so much damage to him without the... already. But there we go. Just got to make sure we don't get hit by all those things. It's taking a bit longer than I thought it would. I honestly thought I had more damage. But not being able to stay close to him caused a lot of issues. We actually get a unique or legendary amulet. That is fantastic. 4 minutes to run around and collect gear. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. But here's the thing with the crits. So with 14% increased critical hit strike, we landed up with 2.2% critical hit chance. So like I mentioned, any crit is better than no crit, but it's just a good example to show you that we only had 2% crit chance. Cast speed, another thing as well. Actually, it looks like it's not worth going for it. 1.8% cast speed over there. Projectile count, because that's very interesting. So maybe this is bugged, because plus 100% and it's sitting at 0, but it does actually give us increased projectiles. So it's very interesting to see that. That's very, very weird. I don't know how it works properly. Magic item chance is actually quite a big one if you get increased to it, because 6% going up, that looks like it's quite a high number as a base. Movement speed also looks like will go up quite a lot, but the rest of them, it doesn't look like it's actually worth going for the passives, and it's better to just upgrade the skills right now in the game. So let's take a look at what we've got over here, and that's that. So we go and ID it at our gentleman over there, and let's take a look. It is going to be a corpse explosion, plus 100 projectile count. So we gain increased resistances, we gain a percentage of strength, plus 4% projectile count, which is pretty good. We get plus 1 skill seal, which I still don't think is working in the game, because I believe I have a gear with that as well already on it. I've got skill focus and skill reroll on there. So yeah, I don't actually know what skill seal does, but we're going to equip that. We get the corpse explosion, plus 100% projectile count. I don't think the name corpse explosion deserves to be there, but we also get chance to recover life on hit, which is good, so that adds on to that. If we go and take a look at our details now, we can see our damage, we can see how much strength, dexterity. It still doesn't let us know what these stats do for us though. I can show you what they do because we know what they do, but it doesn't actually show you. 2.2% crit chance, doesn't even, that's our base crit chance. So having that extra crit chance in the game didn't even increase that. Projectile count is now 1.04. So at least we've got a chance to get an increase to that. Actually, how would I be able to... It doesn't let me change gear while I'm in this menu. If I unequip this, I can't. I have to unequip. I have to equip something different. So let's just take a look here. Projectile count 1.04, 1.04. So for some reason the plus 100 projectile count doesn't make a difference. I have no idea what that does then. Maybe it has to be when you destroy enemies and their corpses explode, or something like that. I have absolutely no idea. Maybe if you guys have been playing a lot of the demo, you can let me know, but that's just really, really weird. Now we actually get something over here. Lightning skills, critical chance, have a 50% chance to restore life. It is a better armor piece. We can't afford it yet. Yet being the the name of the game. So over here we've got 8 intelligence, which we don't need. We gain 53% increased armor, reduced damage reduction from elites, and then lightning skills have increased 50% chance to restore life, which is actually pretty good for some of the skills. So we're actually going to grab this. I am then going to put points into strength. So I'll show you what I mean by that. We have to do this. We have to go here and sell this because the game's going to force us to do that anyway. But if we go over here to the blessing of altars, we then have 18 points, 19, a couple of points, 21 points into our strength, which increases attack power and armor. Intelligence increases mana regen and all magic resistances. Dexterity is crit chance and evasion rating. Vitality is max life. And then we've got things like basic attack, special attack, and attack power. And then damage reduction. And then the rest of them are locked in the demo. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.